Chapter 71 Qin Ming. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Before Qitian could give a reply, the door of the education committee had been pushed open. The visitor was a handsomely dressed young man. He walked into the education committee with brisk steps. When passing Qitian, he just glanced at it without paying much attention. Qin Ming, I have met 3 education committee members. Qitian couldn't help but look at him a few more times, and thought to himself, it turns out to be Qin Ming, and that's right. He is the leader of the first team of Qinghe Royal Academy. Now that he is inserted in, he must be able to communicate with him. However, according to Huang Min's words, Huang Dou's team seems to be a bit xenophobic. I wonder if Qin Ming can handle this problem well. Meng Xinji left his seat and patted Qin Ming's shoulder. Xiao Ming, this is Qitian next to you. He is a new student recruited by the academy. He now has a 34th level soul power. I plan to let you lead him. Practice with him. Meng Xinji did not disclose Qitian's age, and it seemed that he deliberately concealed it. Qin Ming was confused and asked, Chief Meng Xinji, I am only responsible for leading the academy team. If he studies with me, can he join the first team directly? Meng Xinji smiled and nodded. Xiao Ming, Qitian's talent is pretty good. Please help him cooperate more with the team members and try to hone his teamwork and command skills. Qin Ming is also his favorite junior, and even Meng Xinji plans to let Qin Ming take over his job after he retires. However, Qin Mingdo saw all this, but he responded to Meng Xinji's request like this, Chief, I personally agree with your request. But letting Qitian directly join the first team of Huangdou will inevitably be a bit dissatisfying. You know, the 7 people in the current team are all the outstanding ones selected by the college in the previous school year. Let a newly admitted student directly join the first team. Chief, are you kidding us? We are the first team. My duty is to win honors for the empire in the competition, and I will never allow anyone to fish in troubled waters. If he joins the second team, I agree unconditionally. In Qin Ming's eyes, Qitian was a noble boy with a strong background. He wanted to join the first team. It was most likely because the forces behind him put pressure on the 3 education committee members. Hearing this, Qitian sneered in his heart, it seems that the source of this xenophobia lies with you. Meng Xinji's expression changed slightly, but he still tried hard to keep the smile on his face. Xiao Ming, you can tell Qitian's talent just by testing it. How could I arrange for someone to hold you back? Qin Ming didn't care about Meng Xinji's face and said straightforwardly, talent does not represent strength, and soul power level cannot represent it either. Although Tianheng only has the strength of a soul master, ordinary soul sects are not his opponents. This is Tianheng has experienced countless battles and accumulated experience. What the imperial team wants is experienced and mature players. If you are here to learn, it is enough to go to an ordinary class. Of course, if he can defeat anyone in Huangdou's first team except the auxiliary soul master, I will be happy to let him join my team. After that, Qin Ming turned around and walked out of the education committee regardless of the expressions of the 3 education committee members. Qitian suddenly thought that in the original time and space, when Shrek Academy was expelled by Prince Snowstar, Qin Ming behaved in the same way. That time, he may have ignored the face of the 3 education committee members for the sake of his so-called dignity. But what happens this time? It stands to reason that the 3 education committee members are his direct leaders. Shouldn't he follow the arrangements of his leaders? Is it possible that just because the leader values me, I can act recklessly? This style of work, to put it nicely, means that geniuses have their own personality. To put it harshly, it's completely arrogant. Originally, Qitian maintained an objective attitude towards Qin Ming. It seems now that during his time studying at Shrek Academy, he learned all the bad habits there and brought them to work. Jilin's expression changed slightly, and he was about to yell out loud, but when Meng Xinji didn't choose to pursue the case, he had no choice but to give up. Qitian, what Xiao Ming said is right. If you want to join the first team of Emperor Dou, you must show corresponding strength. From now on, if you have any questions about cultivation, you can come to me. Meng Xinji smiled. Looking at Qitian with interest, the latter nodded slightly and accepted it happily. I'll take you around the academy. It's still some time before the semester officially starts. During this period, you have to figure out the layout of the academy as soon as possible. With that said, before Tian could speak, Meng Xinji pulled him out of the education committee. It stands to reason that this kind of work can be left to any teacher or veteran student, and there is no need for him to come forward in person. Soon, Tian understood the reason. Xiaotian, please let me call you that from now on. As he said that, Meng Xinji couldn't help but sigh. Qin Ming is the youngest Tian-level teacher in the history of the academy. He is also the youngest sole emperor in Douluo Continent and ranks second in the record. Geniuses always have some skills. Personality. Don't take it personally, Xiaotian. Xiaoming doesn't take things seriously. Tian said, Chief Meng Xinji, I have just come to the academy and it is indeed difficult to convince others. It is normal for teacher Qin to show such an attitude. Seeing this, Meng Xinji breathed a sigh of relief and at the same time looked at Tian with admiration. Xiaotian, I am very happy that you can understand so much. You should practice hard these days. If you have any doubts, you can contact us at any time regardless of time. Come to the education committee to see me. After several words, Tian finally understood his intention. Meng Xinji wanted to show that what happened just now was not his deliberate intention, but that he failed to communicate with Qin Ming in advance, which backfired. At the same time, a group of people who were wandering around the academy bumped into this scene. Your Highness Xuebeng, which family is that boy a disciple of, and he will be personally received by the Meng Xinji Education Committee? An arrogant young man asked in a low voice. The Xuebeng he mentioned was referring to the fourth prince of the Tiando Empire. Thinking that he was often uneducated and incompetent, he was ordered to return to the academy by Shui when the registration for the academy had just begun. Xuebeng, who was about to have some fun, suddenly became interested. I haven't seen him in Tiando City. He should be a disciple of a noble family. TCH, he's not a Beijing official. How could the chief value him so much? The young man said with an unhappy look on his face, Xuebeng is not really stupid, he will not act recklessly, leave him alone first, find out his background, and then consider whether to take him to play. Your Highness has really thought deeply about it. I really admire him. The young man also didn't forget to slap the rainbow fart. Xuebeng is indeed a marginalized prince now, but who can say for sure in the future? If he becomes the emperor, their playmates will just rise to the top. That evening, Tian returned to the dormitory. As for his dinner, he entrusted the cafeteria staff to deliver it to his dormitory. This place is really luxurious. Not only is the room and board free, but there are even many servants at your disposal. Tian couldn't laugh or cry. The Tiando royal family opened the academy in the suburbs because they did not want students to indulge in a luxurious life. But there are policies from above and countermeasures from below. Those nobles asked the college to recruit many teachers, who were actually servants for the children of the various nobles. Don't believe it, those dandy boys can't even get dressed alone. Without these servants, they probably wouldn't want to stay in the academy for a moment. Chapter 72 Prince Qinghe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tian did not envy the extravagant lives of other students, nor did he complicit in them. During the period before the start of school, he had been staying in the dormitory. In addition to practicing every day, he also boxed. Every day was very fulfilling. In the meantime, he also went to the education committee and asked Meng Xinji for advice several times. After several days of training, his soul power was not enough to break through the first level, but under the guidance of Meng Xinji, he seemed to have made a step forward in his training as a soul master. Early on the morning of the official start of school, all teachers and students in Tiando Royal Academy gathered on the large playground in the center of the academy. Qitian's current situation is very embarrassing. According to Meng Xinji's arrangement, he should be Qin Ming's student. Therefore, no classes were assigned to him, but the situation was that Qin Ming did not accept him as a student. This resulted in that he did not belong to a class and was completely a free man. In the big playground, he can only form his own team. Not long after, a young man in the team beside him couldn't help but asked, "Brother, today is the opening ceremony. I heard that His Highness the Crown Prince will come to inspect the academy. Please don't run around. If you offend His Highness the Crown Prince, your good days will come to an end, and it will even affect the family behind you. Is Prince Qinghe coming?" Tian looked stunned. During this time, he had been staying in the dormitory and was completely unaware of what happened in the college. To be precise, Qinghe is not the original Qinghe, but Qianrenxue, the young master of Wuhun Palace. Tian, who has a god's perspective, knows that if Poseidon hadn't caused trouble in her divine examination, maybe she really was a decisive leader. At least, after she became a god, Tang San had no chance to complete the last step. In general, we can consider cooperating with them in the future if we have equal power. At least, she won't be as crazy as Bibi Dong. Of course, this does not mean that Tian will join her or join Wuhun Palace in the future. After thinking about it for such a long time, Tian also had new ideas. Judging from the current situation, Tian does not want to contact her yet. At least, we have to wait for an opportunity. After thinking about it, Tian asked the young man, "Classmate, which class are you in?" The young man responded, "Class 1, Tianji level. What about you?" Tian gave a seemingly reasonable reason, "I only signed up last night, so I was not assigned to a class." "How about this, I stay in your team for the time being and deal with it first." That's right. He doesn't have much presence in the academy. Basically no one knows him, and the young man in front of him is no exception. "Okay, you hide behind me. Our head teacher, Mr. Sun, is not easy to fool. If he finds out, you will be in trouble." As he said this, the young man waved to the classmates behind him. The latter understood and immediately took 2 steps back. Tian joined their team and stood still, saying curiously, "Teacher Sun, is this Teacher Sun Buyu?" The young man nodded and whispered, "Don't look around, Teacher Sun is here." Sun Buyu has the strength of the Soul King, but this young man is not tall, so how can he block Qitian? After he found out, he was also very confused as to what Tian was doing, but he didn't reveal it. Instead, he stood at the front of the team as if nothing happened. Today is the opening ceremony of Tiando Royal Academy. As all the students have arrived, the 3 education committee members have appeared. Next to Meng Xinji, there was a young man dressed luxuriously. The young man has an elegant manner and has been communicating with the 3 education committee members. He seems to be very talkative. Judging from the appearance alone, Qinghe is definitely ahead of Bang's 18 streets. The latter's wretched temperament is deeply ingrained. If he hadn't come from the royal family, he would probably be a scumbag on the street. The process of the opening ceremony was basically the same. Listening to the speeches of the 3 education committee members, Tian kept listening with his left ear in and the right ear out. I won't go into details. I would like to invite His Highness the Crown Prince to give a speech for the new academic year of Tiando Royal Academy. Qinghe stood up calmly. His speech was extremely concise. There was one sentence in it that Tian found interesting. In order to improve the overall speed of the students, Gute hereby proposes that no student shall refuse an invitation to fight when faced with an opponent of the same level. Moreover, Gu feels that the members of the first and second teams of the Royal Do team will not be able to compete in the Soul Master competition. 6 months before the start, the personnel can be changed. Any student who feels he or she is strong enough can challenge the members of the first and second teams. These 2 proposals seem to be to change the current situation of the academy, but Tian felt that they were added specifically for his sake. You must know that the Tiando Royal Academy has never judged heroes based on their strength, but on their background and connections. For example, would a disciple from a small noble family dare to challenge a playboy from a big noble family? Even if he really enters the ring, even if the disciple of the small noble family is extraordinary, he will still have to lose to the disciple of the big noble family. This is the unique rule of Tiando Royal Academy. With the opening ceremony over, Tian finally figured out the reason. First of all, the 3 education committee members are supporters of Prince Qinghe. His talent is outstanding, and Xiao Zhan behind him is a minor nobleman. Such a target is undoubtedly the best to win over. Tiando Royal Academy was originally designed to cultivate talents for the Tiando Empire. It was normal for them to tell Qinghe about their affairs. After Qinghe left the college, the 3 education committee members immediately added both of his proposals to the college regulations. However, there are very few people who choose to fulfill the regulations. The rules didn't say that each college had to play an arena match within a specific time. As for challenging the members of the first and second teams, these dudes are not interested. As long as it doesn't affect their fun, they won't care if the sky of the academy falls. Since there are no classes, Tian does not have corresponding courses, so he can only study by himself in the dormitory temporarily. Pong. There was a knock on the dormitory door. Tian put away the sandbag, picked up the towel lying aside and wiped the sweat from his forehead before going to open the door. "Teacher Sun, why are you here?" Tian was a little confused when he saw the person coming. Sun Bu was not his teacher, nor was he like Huang Min who needed to cooperate with the admission procedures. Sun Bu said, "I asked the 3 education committee members about you. Since you don't have a class now, the 3 education committee members decided that I will arrange courses for you for the time being. When you join the academy team, about you the course arrangements will be handed over to other teachers." This was Sun Bu's initiative. With Qitian's talent, he will almost certainly become a strong man in the future. And providing help when he is weak is tantamount to giving help when it is timely. After Qitian becomes a strong man, he will more or less be able to get some benefits. That being the case, why would he give up the opportunity to other teachers? Chapter 73 Royal Fighting Team. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As for the Sun Bu in front of him, Tian and him could be considered to have met each other before. It would be nice to ask him to help arrange classes. "Teacher Sun, what classes do I have this afternoon?" Sun Bu conveyed the meaning of Mengshinji. "The chief's request is that every 3 afternoons, you challenge the members of Huangdo Team 1 until you join them. In addition, at other times, you can come to my class, go to class, or go to the college's library and browse some books related to the teaching materials. Don't worry about books. I will make a list for you later. I heard that you skipped the Intermediate Soul Master Academy directly. Therefore, I will recommend you some more books related to the Intermediate Soul Master Academy courses. This is what Qitian needs most at the moment." The reward given to him by the system was only a summary of the courses at the Intermediate Soul Master Academy, and some details required him to go to the library to look for them. If you want to become a strong person, in addition to having enough hard power, you must also have cultural soft power. That's it for now. I'll take you to the training ground of Huangdo Team 1 later. The chief has discussed with Teacher Qin that you can train with the members of Huangdo Team 1 this afternoon only. Sun Bu reminded, "I suggest you communicate and train with them first, and then consider competing with one of them." Qitian knew the configuration of the Huangdo team, but he really wanted to see how Qin Ming's training methods were different. Soon after, under the leadership of Sun Bu, the 2 came to an open space on the mountain behind the college. This open space, as well as all the supporting facilities nearby, is the exclusive training area for the Royal Do team. Even Tianda level students cannot enter here without Qin Ming's permission. Tian looked from afar and saw that in the open space at this time, a blue lightning tyrant dragon soul master was competing with 2 Xuanwu turtle soul masters. As the number 1 beast martial spirit on the mainland, the blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex is known for its attack power. As we all know, offensive soul masters are the nemesis of defensive soul masters. The 2 Xuanwu turtle soul masters seem to have no other role besides serving as human sandbags for the blue lightning tyrant dragon soul master. Coming closer, Sun Bu quickly waved, "Teacher Qin." Qin Ming was watching the competition between the 3 of them. When he heard Sun Bu's voice, he turned slightly sideways and twitched the corner of his mouth. He originally didn't want Tian to come to Huangdo's first team to train for an afternoon, but he couldn't stand Mengshinji using the name of Prince Qinghe to put pressure on him, so he had to compromise. What else can a guy who relies on his family background do except come here to join in the fun? Anyway, this afternoon is for relaxing training, so it doesn't hurt to let him come for a walk. "Teacher Qin, I have brought you here. If we start to discuss things later, don't mess around." The 3 education committee members are all watching. Sun Buyu said with a half-smile but not a smile. Previously, he, like Qin Ming, was a heaven-level teacher. But as Qin Ming broke through the Soul Emperor, the relationship between the two gradually became distant. It wasn't that Sun Buyu didn't want to maintain the relationship, but Qin Ming's eyes sometimes made him feel very uncomfortable. Qin Ming turned around and continued to look at the situation on the field. Teacher Sun, the training subjects of the Royal Do team need to be kept confidential. You should leave as soon as possible. Sun Buyu nodded, turned around and told Tian, if there is any situation, you can always go to Tianji level 1 to find me. Hearing the sound here, Yu Tianheng and Brother Shi stopped their discussion and looked over curiously. After Sun Buyu left, Qin Ming said calmly, okay, come here, the chief has arranged for a new student to spend the afternoon with our Imperial fighting team. This sounds a little awkward. However, Qin Ming will leave Tiando Royal Academy soon, and he will not have the final say here. Qi Tianxin sighed and decided to prove himself with practical actions. The 7 members of the Imperial fighting team heard the sound and came closer. Yu Tianheng and Dugu Yan, the captain and deputy captain, walked at the front, with the others following behind them. Let me introduce to you, this is Qitian. Qin Ming said casually. Yu Tianheng looked at Qitian curiously. After a while, he asked, my name is Yu Tianheng. This junior fellow student, I see that you have a strong physique, but are you an attack-type soul master? That he is the only offensive spirit master in the Imperial fighting team. Usually when I want to spar, I can't find a decent opponent. Among the Tiando-level students in the academy, there is no one who can compete with him, therefore, he still had some expectations in his heart. If Qitian really has the ability to be his sparring partner, it wouldn't hurt to let him join the Imperial fighting team. Qitian nodded, senior is right. If possible, I would like to compete with him now. Seeing Yu Tianheng's eagerness to try, Qin Ming coughed lightly and said, Tianheng, there is a special training tonight, don't waste your energy. I'm Dugu Yan, welcome to you, Junior. Dugu Yan took the initiative to shake hands with Qitian. Her grandfather is the target that Qitian needs to focus on next. Now that Dugu Yan took the initiative to say hello, Qitian's mind became more active. After introducing each other, Qin Ming arranged, this afternoon's training is very simple. Yu Feng, Osluo, you will practice with this new classmate. Let me see if you have improved during this time. That's inappropriate. It was Yu Tianheng who spoke, and he retorted, Teacher Qin, Leopard and Yu Feng are agile attack-type soul masters, and Junior Qitian is a strong attack-type soul master. Such sparring seems meaningless. Of course, if the target of the sparring was him, he would be very happy. Qin Ming glared at him. Tianheng, remember tonight's special training. Qitian, if you shrink back, just leave by yourself. This is not the place you should stay. Junior, according to the new rules of the academy, you cannot refuse. Yu Feng and Osluo didn't care about Qitian, and they even competed to get in first. I'm afraid that those who come first will beat Qitian to autism, and those who come later will have no chance to abuse the food. Qitian said calmly, Teacher Qin, where is the arena? Qin Ming crossed his arms in front of his chest and snorted coldly, this open space is your arena. As long as you don't leave this range, it's not considered out of bounds. Qitian jumped up and stood in the center of the open space. This open space is very large, placed in a large spirit fighting arena, and is similar in size to a team spirit fighting arena. Oslo activated his martial spirit and reached the clearing first. Yu Feng on the side could only stamp his feet in anger. Qin Ming's purpose in arranging this competition was very simple, which was to make Qitian retreat in the face of difficulties. In this way, he has an explanation for both superiors and subordinates, but Qitian's choice was beyond his expectation. Normally, how could a newly admitted student be the opponent of an old student, not to mention that Yu Feng and Oslo were still elites in the academy. Whether he is truly powerful or just ignorant is fearless, you will soon be able to tell. Osluo, the martial spirit is Ghost Leopard, the 37th level agility attack type war spirit master. Junior, you have to be careful. Osluo put up a posture. Tian still had that calm look on his face. Senior Oslo, do you know Oscar? Oslo shook his head. Junior, please report your martial soul and soul power level. Chapter 74. Go back on your word. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Tian laughed dryly. He originally thought Oscar was Oslo's long-lost brother, but now it seemed that he was overthinking it. Teacher Qin, can we start? Qin Ming, it's up to you. As for telling his details before the fight, Tian would not do that. Oslo seemed to be humiliated, his face looked a little ugly. Junior, you need to pay a price for arrogance. The third soul skill, Leopard Shadow Clone. Oslo's speed doubled in an instant. While the ghost leopard spirit was running, his body split into two and rushed towards Qitian from two different directions. Don't hurt your life. As he spoke, Qin Ming glanced at Yi Lingling. Junior, don't be dumbfounded, get out of the way. Yu Tianheng said anxiously in the audience. In fact, Tian has already activated his second martial soul, his eyes. Oslo's speed may be as fast as a ghost in the eyes of others, but in his eyes, it is just average. The martial soul completed its possession. Tian aimed at the path that Oslo's body must pass through, and punched hard. The main effect of the opponent's third soul skill is to confuse the opponent, and it has no substantial offensive ability. Impossible. Oslo was shocked. The agile attack-type Soul Master could never withstand the attack from the powerful attack-type Soul Master. Faced with Tian's fist, he could only stop forcibly. Leopard, what are you doing? Yu Feng said sarcastically. Only Oslo himself understood how thrilling the scene just now was. As long as he takes another half-step forward, Tian will definitely use his soul skills. You are not stupid. Oslo said in a deep voice. Do you want to admit defeat? Tian asked casually. Are you kidding? The second soul skill, Ghost Leopard Double Slash. Oslo crossed his claws on his chest, a flash of light flashed on the sharp claws, and as the claws were swung out, two substantial claw marks struck at the opponent. The first soul ring at Qitian's feet lit up, the first soul skill, Shenglong Fist. Accompanied by a burst of dragon roar, his right fist turned into a golden dragon shadow. While smashing the claw mark, the remaining power of the golden dragon flew towards Oslo. What a powerful attack power. Yu Tianheng rubbed his fists, feeling a little excited. Qin Ming's face was a little unhappy. He didn't know why. Oslo used a useless third soul skill from the beginning, which caused a lot of his soul power to be consumed in vain. Wait, how did he get there? Oslo knew that he could not resist Qitian's attack, so he relied on his own speed advantage to quickly escape from the Golden Dragon's impact range. It's so dangerous, this guy is really difficult to deal with. After sighing in his heart, when he raised his head to look for Tian, he found that the other party's figure had disappeared. I'm sorry, Senior. Tian's voice came from behind him. Before Oslo could react, Tian grabbed the back of his neck and threw him out of the open space. Junior Qitian, you did a good job. Yu Tianheng said with fighting spirit. Tian responded, turned to look at Qin Ming, and asked with a smile, Teacher Qin, according to the agreement between you and the 3 education committee members, can I become an official member of the first team? Qin Ming frowned slightly. Just now, Tian's seemingly useless movement actually became the key to ending the game. Even he didn't expect that Tian would guess where Oslo would land. Is it a coincidence or intentional? Of course, he would never have imagined it. The moment Oslo entered Qitian's offensive rhythm, the latter knew almost all his movements. Besides, in terms of experience in the arena alone, who among the people here can say that he can maintain the same level of pressure? Qin Ming asked, Oslo, what's going on? Oslo lowered his head and whispered, Teacher Qin, Junior Tian did not report his martial soul and soul power level according to the rules of soul fighting. In fact, there is no such rule at all. Whether the two sides repay the martial soul and soul power level is completely a personal behavior. Qin Ming naturally couldn't use this unfounded rule to change the outcome of this competition, but that didn't mean he couldn't make a fuss out of it. In the academy competition, you must report your martial spirit. In the next competition, Feng, you go and compete with him. Ming announced. Meng Xinji told him about Qitian's soul power level. But the competition just now looked like Tian was torturing food. As for his martial spirit, Ming didn't see it. I don't know if this is your personal behavior or Shrek taught you. It's so shameless. Tian sneered in his heart. Since Ming gave him trouble, don't blame him for repaying it with Li. Regarding his martial spirit, this is not a secret at all. Qitian raised his fists and said, my martial spirit is my fists. Senior Feng, please give me some advice. Having learned from the past, Feng did not dare to disclose his condition. Be careful. The first soul skill, Wing Blade, thought his eyes lost the previous contempt, and instead gained a bit of solemnity. He regarded Tian as a normal opponent and planned to test the opponent's strength first before making a response. Feng's martial soul is the wind chime bird. When he activates his first soul skill, the martial soul wings behind him turn into a pair of sharp double blades. His body rotated rapidly with himself as the center of gravity, and when the feather blade opened and closed, a ring-shaped restricted area was formed around him. He couldn't maintain this state for long. Under high-speed rotation, everyone will faint, but everyone's physique is very different, and the time they can withstand rotation is also different. When Ming saw this, he cursed Feng countless times in his heart. This fool uses this stupid trick as soon as he comes up. Doesn't he think his opponent is also a fool? Previously, he talked about the arena experience with Meng Xinji. In fact, none of the 7 members of the Imperial fighting team had participated in several spirit fights. The so-called experience in the arena is just an excuse to reject Qitian. Qitian in the open space chuckled and backed away slowly. Feng's attack was only 1 step away from him, but the former was always out of reach. This Feng is no better than that silly leopard. Dugu Yan snorted. Seeing that the time was ripe, Feng showed a smile on his lips. Junior, you are still too young. The third soul skill, Wind and Cloud Surge. His attack just now seemed very simple, but he was not really stupid. At this moment, Tian's figure has reached the edge of the open space. After his third soul skill is used, a tornado will form. At such a close distance, it seems that the opponent's only option is to be blown out of the clearing. Are you playing with the wind? Tian said expressionlessly. You know, the tornado created by Feng is far inferior to his third soul skill. Moreover, his attention had been very focused just now. How could he not see Feng's small movements? The third soul skill, Fist Fierce Gangfeng. With 1 punch, a strong wind formed in front of him. The number of punches continued to increase, and the power of Gangfeng became stronger. In just 1 breath, the strong wind swallowed up the tornado. Feng saw that something was not going well, and kept fanning the wings behind him, trying to escape from Qitian's attack range by flying. Chapter 75 Feng Xiaotian's Reminder. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The response was quick, but it's a shame. Gangfeng can not only injure the opponent, but also lift the opponent away. When standing on the ground, Feng had his legs as a fulcrum and could barely keep his body steady. But as his legs leave the ground, his support points become the wings behind him. In addition, the surrounding air was disturbed by Qitian, making it difficult for Feng to fly levelly, let alone the existence of Gangfeng. The result was obvious. Not only was Feng in a state of embarrassment, but he was even stained. Yi Lingling could not see any emotions or anger under the veil. The Jiuxin Haitang martial spirit appeared in her palms, and a milky white soul power penetrated into Feng's body, causing his injuries to be quickly healed. Teacher Qin, how are you? Tian stood in the open space and asked calmly. Junior Tian, you are very strong. According to the new rules of the academy, as the captain of the Imperial fighting team, I welcome you to join our team. Tianheng stepped forward and gave Tian a fist bump. Ming turned around and walked towards the direction of the academy. In the future, you can come here for training at any time. Others, rest for the whole afternoon and go to special training in the evening. Tian completed his request, and if he refused again, he would probably anger the 3 education committee members. Ming is not stupid enough to use his official career to act arbitrarily. Ming, since you took the initiative, don't blame me for finding opportunities to fight back against you. Tian wrote down what happened today. The clay figure still has 3 angers. No matter how good-tempered he is, he will not allow anyone to provoke him like this. However, it may be a bit unrealistic to make a strong counterattack in a short period of time. The 3 education committee members have been in contact with Ming for a longer time. Tian's report will only make the 3 education committee members think that he is arrogant. In order to welcome Tian as a member of our team, I will take you for a walk around the city. Tianheng waved his hand and said loudly, on weekdays, Feng and Osluo are the most enthusiastic when they hear someone treating them. But today, they were not in the mood. Tian stepped on the 2 of them to become the leader. There are 8 people in the team now, and only 7 can play in the Soul Master competition. Among the 8 of them, there will definitely be a substitute. Based on today's situation, this substitute is likely to be one of them. Then go, I happen to find a new restaurant opened in the city. When no one answered, Dugu Yan spoke up to relieve Tianheng's embarrassment. Didn't we have training this afternoon? Tian couldn't help but ask. Tianheng put his right hand on his shoulder and said with a smile, Junior, relax, we were originally going to have a rest this afternoon. School has just started now, and there are still a few years until the Soul Master competition. There is no need to work so hard. Tian responded with a smile and cursed in his heart. No wonder Ming agreed to let me train with the team. I guess that's what he had in mind. If you really want to be serious, relaxing can be regarded as a way of practice. The 3 education committee members really couldn't do anything to him. The security. From the moment he decided to join the Royal Do team, Tian felt the need to build a good relationship with his teammates. On the streets of Tiando City, 8 members of the Imperial Fighter team walked together. Captain, it's still a long time before the hotel. In that case, why don't we go to the Tiando Great Soul Fighting Arena to have a hearty spirit fight? Tian suggested. The corner of Tianheng's mouth twitched slightly and he explained, you may not know, Junior, that the special training mentioned by Teacher Qin refers to fighting souls in the big soul fighting arena, so the soul fighting should be held at night. The same is true for the special training that Flanders said. These 2 people are truly teachers and students. I just don't know if Ming will use Flanders's training methods on them. In the team, Oslo and Feng were no longer as talkative as before, causing the atmosphere in the team to be a bit awkward. Tianheng and Dugu Yan are lovers, and it is not easy for Tian to talk to them too much. As for brothers Lingling and Shimo, they were already taciturn, and even more hopeless. Everyone, please disperse now. We will meet Teacher Qin at the Great Soul Fighting Arena tonight. When the special training is over, I will treat you to a supper. In view of the current atmosphere in the team, Tianheng simply announced. After everyone dispersed, Tian was not familiar with the situation in Tiando City, so he wandered aimlessly. Not long after, he saw a familiar face. Feng Xiaotian greeted him from afar. Tian. This time, Feng Xiaotian was no longer followed by the previous team members, but a group of new faces. Xiaotian, long time no see. Tian walked up and said hello. Feng Xiaotian pointed at the 2 people behind him and said, these 3 are the newly elected team members of our Kamikaze Academy, Fei and Feng Yi. I heard you said you wanted to join Tiando Royal Academy. How is the situation? While talking, several people found a nearby tea house to sit down. Tian responded, I enrolled in school half a month ago, and I have just joined the Imperial Fighting Team. You actually hang out with them? Feng Xiaotian's tone rose a bit. Is there any problem? Tian was confused. Feng Xiaotian frowned and did not answer. Fei, who was behind him, explained, the Imperial Fighting Team was formed a year ago. However, it was not entirely selected. 2 of them got in through relationships. Tian didn't know what they meant by this. Even if they relied on relationships, the strength of the 7 people in the team was still among the top in the academy. What's more, his main purpose is to obtain the training resources of Huangdo team. As members of the Imperial team, all resources in the academy will be tilted towards them. Such benefits cannot be taken for granted, Feng Xiaotian reminded. The relationship is a bit complicated. I can't explain it clearly, but if you join the team, there is a high probability that you will squeeze out the starting spots of those two people. When the time comes, I am afraid someone will be unfavorable to you. However, these are all hearsay. You need to consider the specific situation yourself. Director Feng's proposal will never change. If you want to leave Tiando Royal Academy, the door of our Divine Wind Academy will always be open to you. Qitian only listened to half of Feng Xiaotian's words. His motives are not pure, and Qitian will not completely trust him. A few people chatted for a while, and Qitian found an excuse and left the tea house. Captain, there's no point in telling that friend. Feng Yi couldn't help but ask. Feng Xiaotian glanced at him and said lightly, I don't know much about him, but the 3 teaching committee members of Tiando Royal Academy will directly arrange him into the academy team, so he must have something special about him. Furthermore, based on my understanding of the Imperial Fighting Team, it is impossible for him to join the Imperial Fighting Team without Yu Tianheng's approval. Regardless of whether our Feng family owes him any favors, these conditions alone are enough for him to join the Kamikaze Academy. Xiaotian, it's rare that you can give such a high evaluation. A Fei said with a smile. Feng Xiaotian shrugged. He had a feeling that Qitian was definitely stronger than he expected. Chapter 76 Qin Ming's Plan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After leaving the training ground, Qin Ming's expression was extremely bad. He never expected that a new guy would kill 2 of his generals. Since graduating from Shrek Academy, Qin Ming has never forgotten his alma mater and occasionally exchanges letters with Flanders. The latest time, he learned that Shrek Academy now has 7 students who have met the standards to participate in the Soul Master competition. However, Shrek Academy did not pass the review of the Ministry of Education of the Kingdom of Barak, and the facilities of the academy were extremely crude and completely insufficient to support the students' subsequent training plans. Tiando Royal Academy has all these conditions. The college allocates a fixed share of training resources to all students every year. Those dandy kids don't practice at all, so all their training resources are piled up in the college's warehouse. Because he is highly regarded by the 3 education committees, Qin Ming can control the ownership of these resources at will. But his team members are all children of noble families and have no regard for the resources of the academy. Currently, Qin Ming has many resources for himself. Originally it would take at least a year for him to become the sole emperor, but with the accumulation of these resources, he suddenly became the 2nd youngest sole emperor in the mainland. Since he has the power to allocate such a large amount of resources, why doesn't he help his alma mater? Merging Shrek Academy into Tiando Royal Academy, with his ability, he can completely hand over resources to the teachers and students of his alma mater. Qin Ming would never dare to forget Flanders' kindness to him when he was at Shrek Academy. And his plan only sprouted in his heart. He never said it out loud, and even Flanders didn't know about it. Now, the appearance of Qitian will disrupt his deployment to a certain extent. He knew everything about the other members of the Royal Dou team, and no one would find out if they were greedy for some training resources. Now that there is more Qitian, it means that his plan is more dangerous. In the future, if Qitian finds that the cultivation resources he has received have become less and he brings the matter to the table, he will be in big trouble. My strength alone may not be enough to drive him away. Qin Ming knew that his abilities were limited. The teachers of Tiando Royal Academy are not nobles themselves, they are just tools to serve the nobles. Qin Ming is very clear about his identity. Currently, there are 8 people in the team, and one of them will definitely be demoted to the bench. Qitian came to the position by stepping on Feng and Osluo. According to the new rules of the academy, he can never be a substitute. If he insists on finding a reason to put him on the bench, I am afraid it will cause dissatisfaction among the 3 education committee members. Yi Lingling and Dugu Yan are the core of support and control in the team, and they definitely cannot be substitutes. Yu Tianheng is the captain, so there is no reason for the captain to be the substitute. The families behind Graphite and Shimo are very powerful, and Qin Ming has no reason to make them substitutes. As a substitute, you can only choose between Yu Feng and Osluo. Qin Ming thought for a moment and immediately gave the answer. The backgrounds of these two people are also not small, and Qin Ming does not want to offend them randomly. In this case, he decided to let the two of them take turns. Of course, it is unknown whether Yu Feng and Osluo will mobilize the forces behind them to cause trouble for certain people because they are dissatisfied with their positions in the team. In the evening, Qitian arrived in front of the Tiando Great Soul Fighting Arena on time after a brief inquiry. Yu Tianheng and Dugu Yan have been waiting here for a long time. Captain, are you here so early? Qitian stepped forward and said hello. In fact, throughout the afternoon today, Yu Tianheng and Dugu Yan were here watching the soul fighting competition, but Yu Tianheng had no intention of explaining, but said, as the captain, I need to lead everyone in the team, and it is appropriate to arrive earlier. By the way, Qitian, there may be a 2-on-2 spirit battle tonight. Have you decided who you want to partner with? Qitian shook his head. He was not very familiar with the other people in the team. He could just form a team with the remaining person after everyone had roughly chosen them. He has not yet completed the tasks assigned to him by the God of War system. Now he has only one victory in the Great Soul Fighting Arena, and the level of the Soul Fighting Badge is only the lowest Iron Fighting Soul Badge. The rest of the Imperial Fighting Team are in similar condition to him, all wearing Iron Fighting Soul Badges. According to the original situation of time and space, the Imperial Fighting Team will fight against the Shrek Team in more than a month. In other words, they will become a Silver Fighting Spirit Team within this month. I just don't know whether this is Qin Ming's good work outside the field, or whether it is the Silver Fighting Soul Badge obtained by everyone in the Imperial Fighting Team due to their strength. As night fell, everyone from the Imperial Fighting Team, led by Qin Ming, poured into the Tiando Great Soul Fighting Arena together with many spectators. In the private room, Qin Ming stood in front of everyone and announced, tonight, everyone will have a 1-on-1 and 2-on-2 spirit fighting, as well as a team spirit fighting. The major high-level Soul Master Academy teams have been formed one after another, and they have all started team running in training. As a veteran and strong team, our Tiando Royal Academy team cannot lag behind them in terms of progress. Therefore, within 1 month from today, I will take you to a special training every night, and there will be a team battle every day. As he spoke, Qin Ming looked at Osluo and the two, Yu Feng, Osluo, in view of your performance, you will take turns playing in the team spirit battle. Hearing this, the two of them became nervous in unison. The two of them have become rotation positions. Once new players join the team, the two of them are likely to be directly demoted to substitutes. Even if there are no new players, this rotation rule will only be implemented temporarily. In the future, if one of them performs poorly in soul fighting, he will directly become a substitute. Tianheng, you can arrange the rest. I will be on the sidelines to watch each of you perform in the spirit fight. After that, Qin Ming walked out of the private room. Yu Tianheng sat in the front seat and said with a smile, I discussed the tactics of team spirit fighting with Yanzi this afternoon. Since we don't have good cooperation, we adopt conservative tactics for this spirit fighting. Tian and I, as the offensive spirit masters in the team, will support the front line of the team. You guys will continue to protect Lingling and Yanzi as usual. As for Leopard and Yufeng, for tonight's team spirit fight, you two will decide who will play first by guessing. The role of the agility attack spirit master is to penetrate defenses and assassinate. Unless the opponent's back row is very threatening, having an agility attack spirit master in the team is enough to deal with complex situations on the field. Previously, when they were in the academy, 7 members of the Imperial fighting team participated in a simulated spirit fight. As the only fulcrum in the front court, Yu Tianheng was miserable. Now that Qitian is helping him share the burden, he naturally wants it. Yu Feng and Osluo exchanged glances with each other, and then Yu Feng said, let the leopard do it first. Chapter 77 Fighting Duguyan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Since Qitian is a new member of the team, Yu Tianheng reminded him thoughtfully, if you don't have a badge for the soul fighting arena yet, we can take you to get one. No need, I've done one before, but I haven't participated in the spirit fighting. Tian took out the spirit fighting badge and placed it in front of everyone. In a one-on-one soul fight, everyone goes to sign up together, therefore, it is inevitable that some people will become each other's opponents. Leopard, let me see your progress. Qinghe patted Oslo's shoulder and said with a hearty smile. Yanzi, Tian is a new member of the team, and we don't know how powerful the poison is yet. You should take it easy. That's right, Tian's opponent is Dugu Yan. Her poison is extremely troublesome in the eyes of others, but in Tian's eyes, it is not unsolvable. In addition to the methods given by Tang San in the original time and space, Tian himself could find several ways to restrain himself. Thanks to the doctor's manual provided by the system, Tian also gained his own insights into preventing snake venom. Sure enough, reading more is still beneficial. Tian thought to himself. Dugu Yan curled his lips and complained, Tianhe, don't talk nonsense. Junior Tian is very strong, and even if I don't give in, I may not be his opponent. Dugu Yan could clearly see the battle in the afternoon. Her most intuitive feeling is that Tian is very experienced and can think of corresponding countermeasures in a very short period of time. Moreover, she is a control soul master. Once Tian gets close to her, he will be the only one who fails. Before Qinghe could say a few words, the announcement from the great fighting spirit arena quickly called him and Osluo to the ring. This soul fighting is an excellent opportunity to get close to Dugu Yan. How can I get Dugu Yan to recommend Dugu Bo to me? Tian thought to himself, the fairy grass in Dugu Bo's hands can be said to be the cradle of cultivating geniuses. In the original time and space, if all the Shrek 7 monsters had not absorbed the fairy grass, some of them would have been unable to become gods. Dugu Bo occupies such a huge treasure, but because of his short knowledge, he can only take advantage of outsiders in vain. It is really sad. Soon after, Dugu Yan and Tian came to the ring. The former has level 38 soul power and is the best among soul masters. But facing Tian, she couldn't guarantee that she would win. Don't be stressed. It's normal to get injured in the spirit fighting arena. Don't let your concern for me prevent you from showing your original strength. Dugu Yan reminded before the game, the population of Tiando City far exceeds that of Soto City, and even the size of the great soul fighting field is much larger than the latter. There are mostly businessmen coming and going in Tiando City. They only like to watch team spirit battles and pay little attention to one-on-one events. After Qitian and Tian came on the stage, the referee did not give them a chance to talk too much and directly announced the start of the spirit fight. Vice Captain, be careful. Tian ran quickly along the edge of the ring. Dugu Yan's poisonous attacks mostly spread in the form of poisonous mist. In a windless environment like the arena, the poisonous mist spreads very slowly. Therefore, necessary fast running can greatly reduce the risk of poisoning. The first soul skill, green phosphorus and red poison, that the red poisonous mist did not spread in the direction of Qitian, but was inhaled into Dugu Yan's nasal cavity. Her first soul skill, after absorbing the poisonous mist, will gain corresponding attribute increases. Knowing that he was no match for Tian at close range, Dugu Yan relied on his soul skills to increase his strength and constantly kept a distance from Tian. The number of spectators for the one-on-one spirit fight was originally small, and coupled with the two's relatively cautious fighting style, in just 1 minute, more than half of the seats in the auditorium were already empty. Tian was not in a hurry to take action. Defeating Dugu Yan with one blow can only prove that he has some strength, but the chance of taking the opportunity to get on the line with Dugu Bo is slim. He needs to wait for an opportunity. At least Dugu Yan has to release his third soul skill. This guy is such a thief. He knew that Sister Yanzi's poison was very strong, but he chose to do this. Feng in the audience couldn't help but complain. In the ring, every time Tian seized the opportunity, he would just rush in front of Dugu Yan, throw 1 or 2 punches, and then quickly retreat. There is nothing wrong with this style of play, but it just makes people think that Dugu Yan is putting a lot of pressure on Tian, making him afraid to confront him head-on, but the fact is exactly the opposite. Duguyan has already fallen into Qitian's offensive rhythm. When she consciously wanted to disrupt Qitian's attack, she was stopped by the latter in time. Dugu Yan didn't move much in the ring, but she was already covered in sweat. Leopard, you said the opposite. Yanzi is under a lot of pressure. Yu Tianheng was a little anxious. He knew Duguyan's character very well. Turning his eyes to Yi Lingling, he quickly said, Lingling, be prepared. Once Yanzi poisons Qitian, rush to rescue him immediately. What is he trying to do? Yu Feng whispered. Tian put pressure on Dugu Yan, but was poisoned by his third soul skill. This looked like the behavior of a fool. Could it be that he wanted to test the poison himself? The fact was just as they expected. Dugu Yan, who felt the pressure was overwhelming, no longer acted as measuredly as before. The purple thousand-year soul ring lit up at her feet, and the green phosphorus snake martial soul kept spitting out purple poisonous mist. The third soul skill, green phosphorus and purple poison. The purple poisonous mist no longer gives any bonus to teammates, but instead becomes a key soul skill for killing opponents. Facing opponents of the same level, her third soul skill has never been defeated so far. Oops, Yanzi, stop it. Although Yu Tianheng and Qin Ming were far apart, they said these words almost at the same time. In the last trial in the academy, Dugu Yan used his third soul skill with all his strength and almost killed his opponent. Not only that, the poison drifted along the wind direction to the audience, almost causing a catastrophe. That time, Dugu Bo came to the rescue, but Dugu Bo is not here now. You admit defeat, now I can still put away the poisonous mist. Dugu Yan's eyes were as cold as snake eyes, and the words he spoke were without any emotion. Feeling huge pressure, she could have chosen to admit defeat, but the desire to win in her heart led her to do what she did now. God is really helping me. Qi Tianqin smiled. This was exactly the result he wanted to see. The third soul skill, Fist Fierce Gangfeng. Qitian punched, and the surrounding airflow was attracted by his fist. The moment the strong wind formed, the direction of the purple poisonous mist immediately changed and blew towards Dugu Yan. The strong men in the Great Spirit fighting arena seemed to be aware of the possible danger. Several powerful men took action at the same time, building a barrier around the arena to block the spread of the poisonous mist. Before Dugu Yan could react, his whole body was wrapped in this purple poisonous mist. Normally, when a soul master faces the poison he casts, it will not have any effect. But for some reason, after Dugu Yan was wrapped in his own poisonous mist, in just a few breaths, his figure softened and he collapsed on the ring. The Ares player wins. The referee immediately announced. Chapter 78 Dugu Yan is poisoned. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Captain, is this impossible? The two Shimomo and Shimo brothers, who had always been taciturn, couldn't help but say, on the mainland, there are many soul masters who use poison as an attack method, but Yu Tianheng and others have never heard of poisons that can affect the soul masters themselves. No, Yanzi is in danger. Yu Tianheng quickly rushed out of the private room and rushed towards the contestants' tunnel. The arena at this moment was still wrapped in a soul barrier by the people of the Great Soul Fighting Arena. Without Dugu Yan, the soul skill releaser, the purple poisonous mist would not be able to dissipate in a short time. Tian hurriedly said, find a powerful fire attribute soul master to burn away the poisonous mist. The people in the Great Soul Fighting Arena thought it made sense, and quickly called for a fire attribute soul saint to take action, and the poisonous mist on the arena was able to dissipate. How is Yanzi? Yu Tianheng rushed over at this time and asked anxiously. Tian shook his head. The healing soul master of the Great Soul Fighting Arena is checking her out. Logically speaking, normal people are not worthy of the attention of the Great Soul Fighting Arena. But Dugu Yan is different. Behind her is Dugu Bo, a titled Douluo. If she had problems in the Great Soul Fighting Arena, Dugu Bo would not let them go. A titled Douluo who has no worries is a disaster for everyone. Everyone from the Imperial fighting team quickly surrounded him. They didn't say much about the outcome of this soul fight. They just hoped that Dugu Yan could successfully survive the crisis. Yu Tianheng stood under the ring and paced back and forth, looking very nervous. After burning a stick of incense, the healing soul master sent by the Great Soul Fighting Arena sighed and walked off the ring. Mr. Wang, how is Yanzi? Qin Ming asked anxiously. The old man surnamed Wang sighed. Her situation is rare in my life. Although there is no danger to her life, she may not wake up in a short time. On the way away, the old man kept mumbling, how can someone be hurt by his own martial spirit? It's weird. After bringing Dugu Yan to the private room, Ming immediately announced that tonight's special training was cancelled. Then, he rushed back to the academy without stopping to find out the whereabouts of Dugu Bo from the 3 education committee members. Sister Yanzi's life is not in danger. The other conditions are consistent with what the senior said. After re-examination, Yi Lingling came to the same conclusion. Lingling, can you detoxify Yanzi? Yu Tianheng grabbed the other party's arm and asked anxiously, Jiuxin Haitang Wuhun has a very powerful healing ability, but it does not have the ability to detoxify. At least Yi Lingling's current ability cannot detoxify Dugu Yan. Just when everyone was anxiously thinking of a solution, Qitian finally said, I have a solution, but I can't guarantee that it will be successful. Seeing that everyone was focusing on him, Qitian then spoke about the doctor's affairs. First of all, Qitian was sure that Dugu Yan was not poisoned by his own poison. The reason why the latter fell into coma was due to the powder he sprinkled on the ring. Qitian's purpose for doing this is also very simple. The poison of martial souls has been a long-standing problem for the Dugu clan. After this battle, Dugu Bo will definitely pay more attention to Dugu Yan. His ultimate goal was accomplished. As for the powders he sprinkled, they were anesthetics recorded in the manual. This medicine is very effective and has a corresponding antidote. Qitian had prepared all of this long ago and was just waiting for this opportunity. Taking out a pack of silver needles from the soul guide, Qitian informed everyone about acupuncture-related matters. Yu Tianheng was urgently ill and sought medical treatment, and directly agreed with Qitian's approach. Although Yi Lingling has never heard of such a treatment method, she will assist Qitian on the side to prevent the silver needle from being stuck in the wrong place and inadvertently damaging Dugu Yan's meridians. With everything ready, Qitian inserted the silver needle with the antidote in advance into an insignificant position such as his arm. In fact, Qitian doesn't know how to do acupuncture, and his current behavior is just making a fool of himself. As the antidote was absorbed, Dugu Yan gradually regained consciousness. Wake up, wake up. Yu Tianheng breathed a long sigh of relief and looked at Qitian, full of gratitude. Qitian, thank you very much this time. If you have any use for me in the future, just ask. Qitian didn't answer. Yu Tianheng's background is not bad, but he is in a competitive relationship with Yu Tianxin, and his right to speak within the sect is limited. Qitian didn't think he could really help him in anything. Dugu Yan's whole body was extremely sore, and she couldn't sit up even after trying several times. You should rest for a while and wait until your body has recovered a bit before returning to the academy. After that, Qitian said goodbye to everyone and returned to the academy first. Before leaving, he quietly put a silver needle hidden in his sleeve into the soul guide. Dugu Bo is very accomplished in medical skills, so this little trick probably won't hide it from him. But Dugu Yan couldn't do it. She was never interested in medical matters, so naturally she had no way of knowing whether she was poisoned or if there was something else she was hiding. After Qitian left, the rest of the Imperial fighting team also left the Great Soul fighting arena one after another. Tonight's supper was not available, so Qitian quickly returned to the college dormitory without staying too long in the city. It is worth mentioning that because the college land needs to be replanned, the individual villa that Qitian was originally supposed to be allocated was cancelled. However, Meng Xinji promised that Qitian could get double the monthly subsidy distributed by the college. This made him confused for a moment whether he was here to learn or to make money. The words are divided into two parts. Ming on the other side was a little depressed. He did not dare to directly tell what happened to Dugu Yan. Instead, he made insinuations and asked the 3 education committee members about Dugu Bo's movements. The result he got was that Dugu Bo was used to being idle and was currently not in Tiando City. No one knew when he would return. After asking around to no avail, Ming had to return to the Great Soul fighting arena. In a private room of a hotel in Tiando City, Yu Feng and Oslo did not return to the academy, but they had a small gathering here. Yu Feng said with a worried look on his face, Leopard, what should we do? That boy Qitian is stronger than us. Once a new member joins the future academy team, I'm afraid the 2 of us will be completely reduced to substitutes. Oslo naturally understands the pros and cons. If it weren't for this competition, even if Qitian joined the Huangdo team, he would have had Shuremo and Shuremo take turns. The two of them have overlapping functions and roughly the same soul skills, so they are indeed suitable candidates for rotation, but unfortunately, these two people have very strong backgrounds, so powerful that even the families behind them cannot shake them. I am afraid that even if there was no previous competition, Ming would not arrange for the two of them to rotate. Feng, Teacher Qin seems to dislike Tian. Maybe if we work behind the scenes, we can successfully kick Tian out of the team. Oslo touched his chin and analyzed based on what he saw today. Feng said solemnly, before that, we have to find out his background clearly. If his background is very powerful, then for the sake of your family and mine, we must give in. Chapter 79 Dugu Yan comes to the door. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As a member of the first team of the Royal Do Sentai, Tian enjoys certain privileges in the academy. Early this morning, 2 students from the Tianwei class sent him this month's training resources. Senior, the teachers from the Education Committee have asked us to inform you that your training time at the Academy's Mimicry Training Ground this month is unlimited. Please sign for these dried soul beast meats, as well as the heavenly materials and earthly treasures that are helpful to your cultivation. One time. Huang Min informed him about the training resources after returning to the academy last night. Today happens to be the first of this month. In addition to receiving training resources, you can also receive student subsidies belonging to him. Tian moved the things into the dormitory and said casually, I can just go get these things myself. Who asked you to bring them? The two explained, Teacher Qin asked us to send it. You can only ask Teacher Qin for the specific situation. Showing courtesy for nothing is either cheating or stealing. Ming gave him a cold look yesterday. Even if there was a change, it would not be so fast. The two people quickly left Qitian's dormitory without saying anything else. Qitian didn't care. His classes in the Imperial Fighting Team would only start this afternoon. In the morning, it is his free time. Putting the sandbag on the balcony of the dormitory, Qitian started training. Over the past few days, he has gradually become accustomed to getting up early. The period of time in the Advanced Soul Master Academy was the golden period for soul masters to improve their soul power, and he had no reason to be lazy. Time passed by minute by second, and when Qitian had just packed up the dormitory and was about to go out, someone knocked on the door of the room again. The person coming is Dugu Yan. She must have learned about what happened last night from Yu Tianheng's mouth. Qitian was not surprised by her arrival. Vice Captain, what's the matter with you? Qitian pretended to be confused. Dugu Yan walked into the dormitory and sat on the sofa in Qitian's room. Qitian, thank you for what happened last night. Dugu Yan lightly opened his lips and said softly. Qitian spread his hands and said, we are all classmates, not to mention you were injured because of me. Then, he picked up the water cup and teapot beside him, poured a glass of water for the other person, and handed it to the other person's hand. Thank you. Dugu Yan took the water glass and asked the doubts in his heart. I went to the college's library early in the morning, read a lot of books, and asked many teachers. The toxins produced by the martial arts cause there has never been a case of a soul master being poisoned in the past 1,000 years of records. Qitian laughed cynically, isn't that good? It proves that you have set a precedent. Dugu Yan didn't answer and asked again, do you know the reason? In other words, why did my martial spirit poison me? Of course Qitian knew the reason, but he was not stupid enough to tell Dugu Yan the specific reason directly. Just imagine, the two of them had only known each other for a day, but he knew everything about Dugu Yan. What would this make Dugu Yan think? Breaking off diplomatic relations on the spot is probably considered a minor offense. Qitian did not speak, but took out a silver needle from the iron box in front of the bedside table. Is this the needle you used to prick me awake last night? Dugu Yan asked in surprise, but what is it black about? Qitian nodded, yes, this is the silver needle used to prick you, but the silver content of this needle is not very high, so when it comes into contact with certain toxins, the silver needle will turn black. The practice of testing poison with silver needles is used by the royal family and some great nobles. The main purpose is to test whether the food has been poisoned. Dugu Yan frowned slightly and asked in confusion, "What is the result of this?" Qitian explained, "I pierced this needle by mistake and stuck it on your blood vessel. To my surprise, the silver needle immediately turned black. I don't know if your poison will affect your blood. If no, I'm afraid you are already quite poisoned, and this poison seems to have been in your blood for a long time." Dugu Yan naturally didn't believe it. In order to be more convincing, Tian took out his set of tableware and said, "This is the silver tableware issued by the academy. You can drop blood on it and you will know immediately whether it is good or bad." Dugu Yan naturally recognized that this was the standard tableware in the college. Without hesitation, she took out a dagger and cut one of her fingers, letting the blood drip onto the silver tableware. Tian checked this set of tableware and found that it was not made of sterling silver. Therefore, after Dugu Yan's blood fell on it, a reaction occurred quickly. This. Tian sighed and said, "It seems that you have been deeply poisoned. It is very likely that you did not grasp the appropriate measures when practicing poison skills, which caused the poison to enter your body. Can you cure it?" Dugu Yan was already confused. She recalled that she had experienced physical discomfort many times while practicing. But when she asked her grandfather, the result was that there was nothing wrong with her body. She didn't know whether her grandfather was hiding something or Tian was playing tricks on her. Tian shook his head. "This is the first time I've seen your problem, and there is no good cure. I will look for some medical books to study these days to see if there is any way to detoxify it." After a pause, he continued, "Vice Captain, I heard that your grandfather is very powerful. Maybe your grandfather will have a solution." Dugu Yan nodded lightly and immediately left Qitian's dormitory. The poisons of their grandfather and grandson all came from the jade phosphorus snake spirit. The martial soul of a beast soul master is highly bound to the soul master's body. At the time, Yu Xiaojiang was also poisoned just because Luo Sanpao was bitten. If Dugu Yan's martial spirit was a weapon martial spirit, he might be able to avoid being affected by the poison. From the current point of view, following the method in the doctor's manual can indeed resolve the poison in Dugu Yan's body, but at the same time, her cultivation has been completely ruined. Not to mention the future, even the current strength may suffer a serious decline. In the afternoon, the Imperial fighter team gathered in the open space behind the academy. Tian specifically glanced at Dugu Yan, who had a natural expression and didn't seem to be affected in any way. But he knew that Dugu Yan just didn't want to show his weak side in front of everyone. There will be special training tonight, so the training in the afternoon will be a little easier. As he spoke, Ming turned to the side. Following his gaze, he saw several baskets filled with stones lying quietly aside. You don't need to guess what Ming's next training method will be. No wonder your training subjects need to be kept secret from outsiders. If other teachers know about this method of running with stones, you will be in big trouble. Tian cursed in his heart. You know, there are all kinds of strange training facilities in Tiando Royal Academy. Even for mimicry training grounds, there are dozens of them in Tiando Royal Academy. Such favorable conditions are placed here, and it is really unbelievable that they would use running. Is it possible that Ming Du's love for Shrek has emerged from the mire and remained unstained? Even though you have left Shrek Academy for many years, you still can't forget the difficult years. Chapter 80: The Incredible Training Method. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Teacher Qin, are you going to run again? Yu Tianheng looked sour. The run arranged by Qin Ming was not a simple run. Without activating the martial spirit, running around the back mountain for a few times would make me exhausted and exhausted. How could I still have the energy to participate in the spirit battle at night? Qin Ming put his hands on his back and could not refuse. Running is your daily reservation. Without a good physique, how can you defeat your opponents in the spirit fighting field? Especially Lingling, as an auxiliary spirit master, when the battle situation is urgent, you can quickly get rid of the opponent's assassination and gain valuable offensive opportunities for your teammates. Qin Ming is right to say this, but he cannot put the cart before the horse. At this stage, improving teamwork ability and soul power level are the main courses. However, Yanzi's body has not fully recovered yet. Yu Tianheng added. Qin Ming said calmly, Yanzi can rest for 2 days. Others are not allowed to be lazy. I will supervise you all the time. If someone skips one lap, everyone's training volume will be doubled tomorrow. After that, Ming left the back mountain to mind his own business. Seeing his figure walking away, Tian couldn't help but ask Xiaotian, "Captain, does Teacher Qin usually lead you to train like this?" "I heard that in the Advanced Soul Master Academy, students are allowed to practice in mimicry on the field, conduct corresponding training sessions." Xiaotian smiled bitterly and patted his shoulder. "Don't think about it, Teacher Qin will not take us to the mimicry training ground." "Teacher Qin, why do you give us the entire morning to move freely? The purpose is to let us just go to the mimicry training ground to practice on your own. In the afternoon and evening, there are classes arranged by him." Tian didn't know whether it was because Ming lacked ability and didn't know how to maximize the effectiveness of students training in the mimicry training ground, or because he simply wanted to be lazy all morning. These baskets are marked with everyone's name. Among them, the weight of the basket of stones belonging to Qitian was almost the same as that of Xiaotian. Moreover, Ming also clearly stipulated that everyone can only take care of themselves. You can neither share the stones with others nor run the entire distance with the help of others. At the same time, everyone in Shrek Academy had the same experience as them. Compared with Ming, Yu Shaojiang's actions were obviously superior. At least, his method can be used to cultivate students' teamwork skills. Ming's approach is more like cultivating personal heroism. Towards the stragglers, the attitude is completely deaf. Everyone in a team has a very different division of labor and different strengths. Qitian and Xiaotian are both attack-type soul masters. Their physical fitness is strong, and their running speed is far ahead of others. Without activating the martial spirit, Feng and Douluo couldn't catch up even if they tried their best to catch up. Not to mention, Lingling is physically weaker, but like everyone else, he still needs to complete 5 laps. No one refutes this obviously unreasonable training plan. Is it possible that these training methods are novel and interesting in the eyes of Xiaotian and others? In less than 2 hours, Tian and Xiaotian had surpassed Lingling at the end by 3 laps. Tian, I didn't expect you to be able to keep up with me. I'm looking forward to competing with you in the spirit fighting arena. Looking at the finish line just around the corner, Xiaotian wiped the sweat from his forehead. Tian nodded. "Okay, but before that, we have to help other team members." After crossing the finish line, Xiaotian immediately threw off the basket and lay on the grass, breathing heavily. On the other hand, Tian did not stop and caught up with Lingling. "You are an auxiliary soul master, so running like this doesn't mean much to you. Relying on physical fitness to smooth the gap between martial souls is only useful for soul warriors below level 10. As the level increases, the gap in physical fitness will only become more obvious. When Lingling reaches the soul saint level, even if she has become a long-distance runner, she will not even be as fast as Douluo at this stage. Shrek Academy engages in running, firstly, to train the cooperation among the students, and secondly, to consume the students' energy and make them live a fulfilling life every day. Ming's move was like imitating others. He only learned superficial skills and knew nothing about the core. The veil on Lingling's forehead was wet with sweat and stuck to her face. She gently lifted the veil and looked at Tian with a blank expression. "If you don't do it, Teacher Qin will punish you." Tian shook his head. "Give me your basket and finish the race. Teacher Qin's arrangements are not always correct. I will protest to him later." Carrying 2 baskets on his back, Tian's speed did not slow down, and his physical strength seemed to be infinite. Does this guy want to make a big splash in the first training session? Dugu Yan in the distance frowned slightly when he saw this. Not long ago, he discussed with his grandfather about Ming's training methods. Dugubo once made it clear that Ming's training method is nonsense. However, Dugubo seemed to be very busy during this period and did not go to the 3 education committee members to explain the situation. No one else had raised objections to this before, and with Xiaotian's persuasion, Dugu Yan never had the chance to appeal. Now that Tian is here, as long as Lingling is persuaded and the 3 of them go to the education committee to appeal, this ridiculous training method will definitely be banned. Your physical fitness is so strong. Lingling ran to a shaded area and felt the cool breath, and then she had the strength to speak. Tian said, "Don't talk, don't disrupt your breathing rhythm. As for my physical fitness, because I am an attack-type soul master, my physical fitness is naturally stronger than other types of soul masters." This is not entirely true. Qitian has been training since he was a child and has never stopped. After such a long time, his physical fitness has long been stronger than that of his peers. However, these training methods turned into auxiliary training methods after he became a soul master. Most of the time, he spent cultivating his martial soul and soul power. As the sun went down, Yi Lingling was the last one to finish the race. Before she could rest for a moment, Ming walked out quickly and announced, "Qitian, you violated the training regulations. You and Yi Lingling need to run 3 more laps tomorrow." Yi Lingling's eyes were filled with stars at this moment, and she had no strength to refute Ming. Just when Qitian was about to speak, Dugu Yan was the first to stand up and objected, "Teacher Qin, I think there is something wrong with your training method." "Yanzi, you." Tianheng still wanted to persuade her to shut up, but this time, Dugu Yan seemed determined to abolish these unreasonable training methods. "Yanzi, do you know what you are talking about?" Ming's face darkened and he said displeased.